Hello everyone, my name is Mark. Today, we are actually going to talk about some exam study tips rather than technical content. So let's go ahead and get that started. This will be a short video. So how to study for exams for Calc 3? Technically for any exams in general, I think these tips will be applicable for many types of problems. So use your past exam archives, right? So Calc 3 and many Purdue math courses provides past exam archives, and I want when you practice those past exam archives, I want you to treat them seriously, right? Time yourself, don't look at your notes, right? And treat every problems seriously as you're actually taking the exams. So when you take them, I would encourage you to circle and underline the questions that you have no idea or confused about, right? Even have the slightest confusion, I would still encourage you to circle or underline them, right? In my sort of notation is underline is something that I am slightly confused about, and then circle is something that I really have no idea what to do. And how many copies I would recommend to practice before an exam? Probably around four. Four is probably I think is the best ratio between inputs of your time and then the improvement that you get out of or the grades that you get out of. It doesn't guarantee you to get a full 100% on every exams. So the more the better. But so be my guest if you want to practice more. When you practice more, you really want to make sure you're not just practicing for the sake of practice, right? You want to learn. You want to learn new things as you practice and perfect yourself, right? Practice doesn't make you perfect, but practice makes you proficient. So first copy, you probably feel terrible, right? I don't blame you. I would probably feel terrible at first when I practiced the first copy, but the idea is that you want to study those problems that you are confused about or have no idea, and then you get better at it. So second and third copy, right? Can study your notes, study anything you want before taking them. Um, that helps you recall your knowledge, get a better understanding, maybe hope you can solve the problem a little bit faster. And you practice, you start to find a pattern or some specific topics that you keep making mistakes on, right? And then finally, your fourth copy is your speed run, right? To spend the entire exam allowed time, right? For your midterms are 1 hour, for final exam it will be 2 hours to finish and double check this copy, right? This will want you to have simulate your exam environment as much as you possible. Um, and then what should I do before your exam? Before the exam, right? So I want you to memorize the key equation in your notes. Make sure you don't miss anything, right? So curvature problem doesn't come up a lot, but sometimes it does. So you I would encourage you to memorize them, even though they don't show up a lot. They can just surprise you. And I want you to learn from your mistakes, right? That's why I want you to circle and underline the questions that you're confused about so that you can come back and then study them often. So don't study the ones you got it right, but you need to return to the questions that you made the mistakes on, right? Other resources will include, like, let's say my intro videos, right? So I have made a keynote about talking about all of the resources available for Calc 3, right? One thing I like about Calc 3 is there are vast amount of resources available for you. There's YouTube videos, there's board exam, office hours, math help rooms, lots of them. On it goes on, list goes on and on. And I also have made a OneDrive folder, or you can access through my Google Drive folder. It can, maybe in the future it can be something else, but I will let you know whenever it's there. So let me just access it through my OneDrive my OneDrive folder. So academics 2019 fall MA261 MA261 resources, and then you have exam studies, right? So I would like to highlight this spreadsheet that I made right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and open it in Excel if I can. There it is. So open it in Excel. Come on. So this spreadsheet, I have put my instruction at the top cell right here. So I have grouped these past exams starting from 2016 spring all the way to 2022 spring so far into the spreadsheet. So to use how to use this spreadsheet is, let's say I am confused about linear approximations, right? So I go to the first column and I see that 15.6 linear approximation is right here. And I go span across the row, so I see that 2016 spring exam 1 question number 7 is about linear approximations. I can go ahead and practice that, and the answer choice will be echo. And then if I want to practice more, there's 2016 fall exam 1 question number 10, answer choice C, right? And you can scroll to the right, and you can see that there's quite a few of them related to linear approximation. So whenever you're confused about a concept, you see yourself making a lot of mistakes on, come back to this spreadsheet. You can go ahead and find the practice question. A lot of practice questions like this. So also something I want to keep in mind is that sometimes if you want to practice exam 1 concepts, there could be finals that could be there could be final exam questions that also contains the same topic, because final will be cumulative. So don't just focus on the exam 1 copies and exam 2 copies. Maybe look into final exam copies as well. So that's what I have to say about my shared OneDrive folders. And there's will be lots and lots of extra resources available in there as well. But this is something I just want to highlight on. So finally, this is just a bunch of text that I put up together for my previous students. I'm just gonna read it off for you. So before every exam, I would recommend having a healthy meal and getting a lot of rest before entering your exam room. I would also review your notes and the past exam questions you have answered incorrectly. I don't really recommend any energy consumptive activities such as like practicing one or even multiple past exam copies, since you should preserve your physical and mental energy for the actual exam, right? I don't want you to come in an exam exhausted and then making mistakes on questions that you shouldn't be. And arrive early for the exam. I want you to try to settle down to your assigned seat and make yourself comfortable. Get accustomed to balancing the writing board, especially in the Hall of Elliott, because they're just regular theater seats, but there's no actual tables. You will be using a writing board. And then have yourself pencil and erasers, and as well as backup pencils and backup erasers ready whenever you need them. When the exam starts, I would recommend having a quick overview of the entire exam paper to make sure there's no page missing, and more importantly, assess each question set and start picking off the easy ones and save the harder questions for later. Don't leave early. I see many students leaving early thinking that they have gotten the correct exam correctly 100%. Don't do that. You want to use the entire exam allowed time to answer and double or even triple check your answers. When reviewing your work, reread the question statement very carefully and to avoid or find any catches or traps that you might have missed, right? Sometimes you just read it, you think you got the correct answer, but I want you to follow the solution process carefully and try to avoid confirmation bias. This is the hardest part, right? Even if you double check or triple check, thinking you got it correctly, but for the entire time you're just confirming yourself you got the right answer. In fact, what you have done was incorrect. So finally, I want you to know that you have done everything you could have done to prepare for this moment. So give your best shot regardless of what the outcome might be, and best of luck to every single one of you, and good luck to your exam.